To get the most eyes on your vehicle, you need the best that the rest will see. At Lightning Wraps, you get the best at an affordable price compared to the rest. Be sure to check us out on Facebook for more information.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Got a great car, great team. We'll execute. Our time. We know what we got to do. Stay in the fight between the walls.
Time to turn the intensity up.
Fight till the end, no matter what happens. Good day to be in victory lane.
Green flag is in the air. Driving with conviction. Side by side, hammer down. The after-checks are lit. Count out anybody. Who wants it the most?
We are eyes on the leader now.
He is driving his guts out. Wheel to wheels, they come to the line. What a victory this will be.
Nobody wants it more than you.
Next flag is going to end it.
Does he have enough?
A dominant performance.
You gotta stay down, baby. Let's go.
Can you believe what you are seeing? Everybody pushing as hard as they can. Get it. One final shot.
Gotta earn this thing. Right here to the end.
It is all on the table.
A total 500.
What you know about rolling down in the down in the What you know about rolling, rolling, rolling. What you gonna do? Rolling, rolling. What you gonna do? Down in the rolling, rolling, rolling. What you gonna do? Right, don't be loving this.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome on in to the Dead Man's Hit List 100 live from Iowa Speedway for the Lightning eSports Truck Series. Just getting set. These drivers are getting gridded and we'll be taking the green flag in just a few moments. Drivers, I think, are ready for tonight's race. Other ones might not be. Once again, I am Oscar Jensen here in the booth here for you, bringing the race tonight. I think we might have Bryce Shoemaker join us later. We'll see if he's able to make it in to this race in time. But for the time being, it is just me bringing you the action here from Iowa Speedway. Let's go ahead and go down our starting lineup here real quick. Row number 1, we have Chris Phillips and Christian Shriver. Row number 2, we have Dennis Warrens and then Robert Kahn. Row number 3 will be Michael Chanel and Truth Hoke. Row number 4 will be Chanel Patel and Joshua Panel. Row number 5 will have Mathis Bernatchez and then Jeffrey Ledford. Row number 6 will be Alex Foster and Barry Nelson. Row number 7 will be Jesse Fox and Sebastian Chanel. Then going on to row number 8, we'll have Brennan McGee and Bud Shear. Heading on back to row number 9, we have Kevin Baker and Mike Rideout. Row number 10, we will have Sean Burke and then Rusty Jordan to his outside. And then in the last couple of rows here in row 11, we'll have Jason Henry, Michael Ware, and then rounding out the field will be Timothy Causey in this number 9 truck. So 23 trucks going to be taking the green flag for tonight's main event. 100 laps here for the race at Iowa Speedway. We'll take a look at the weather display real quick before we take the green flag. 78 degrees out, partly cloudy, although it is a night race, so that won't really be noticeable. Track temp, 77 degrees out. So there should be plenty of grip for these drivers out here when they take the green flag in just a moment. Crowd on their feet. Pace car now going to pull itself off of the racetrack, working themselves off of 4 into the start zone. Green flag in the air. We're racing from Iowa Speedway, and maybe a little bit of action there at the front, and we got a truck that's, I believe, Jeffrey Ledford into the wall here early on into turn 1. Early troubles here for last week's winner. Very wide going into one. That's Chantel in the middle there. Now able to get it figured out. They're going to go back to 2 wide here for the time being. Robert Kahn takes a look to the outside, trying to make that upper lane work. Looks like he's going to lose a bit of ground to that 05. So that 21 will slot back in line, but now getting pressured from Truth Hoke, as Truth Hoke dives to the inside lane, looking to gain that position away from Robert Kahn. Bernat Shea looking good in that 3rd position, but he's got that 14 in his sights for 2nd. Shriver looks like he might have hit the outside wall a bit off at 4. Maybe a little bit of contact, which slowed him up a bit. Now Bernatchez gonna be all over the rear bumper of that 14 machine. Diving to the inside down the front straightaway. They're going to be drag racing into 1. The 47 has the advantage, but Christian looks to fight tough on the outside. They're going to continue to be side by side for 2nd, as Chris Phillips having a strong early run here. Remember, he had a good night at Vegas, but got beat at the very end. And that gave the win to Jeffrey Ledford. Ledford did a great job at getting that air as contact. Around goes the 55 through 1 and 2. Tags the outside wall and brings out our first caution of the night. Caution number 1 here at lap 8 is going to slow us down. The 55 of Truth Hope going around for a bit of a spin there, maybe making some contact with that outside wall. Let's go back and take a look at it real quick here. So racing with, I think that's a 97 of Michael Chanel. Looks like Chanel might have gotten a bit deep in there washed up. He got into the back of that 55 machine of Truth Hope. Set the 55 around. Let's take another look at it again here. Yeah, Michael kind of entered pretty low, I'd say, for a turn into turn one, and just didn't get the angle that he needed to be able to rotate that truck correctly, and unfortunately got into the left rear of Truth Hope and sent that 55 around. And just ever so slight contact. Didn't have to make hard contact. It was just a little bit of a nudge there in that left rear that sent this 55 around, and definitely did hit the outside wall a little bit with that front end, but I don't think it's anything major. He will have to come down pit road and probably get some attention from his pit crew to get that front nose back in shape, but other than that, I think he should be fine for this race here tonight. I mean, still early on in the race, so that'll definitely help him. Again, he'll just be set back a little bit for the time being. So we were talking about it there just a few moments ago, but in case you weren't able to catch on last week's race, this number 6 of Chris Phillips has done an outstanding job these past couple of weeks of being up front, putting himself in contention. He unfortunately got beat by Jeffrey Ledford last week for the win at Las Vegas, but definitely having that momentum carry over this week. Right now, holding that top spot down. Really hasn't faced a whole lot of pressure from behind either, so definitely looking to one-up his position from last week. We'll see if he can do so, or if maybe one of these other drivers wants to take themselves into victory lane. Remember as well, Ledford last week, when getting that win at Las Vegas, collected his second win of the season. Bud Cheer has one win to his name as well. So far, 2 drivers have put themselves into victory lane. We'll see who can do it here tonight and join them. Great flag back in the air. Pretty decent start by a majority of the field back here. Just kind of sorting themselves out as they work through 3 and 4. But now Chris Phillips under fire for the race lead. Here comes Bernatchez. A little bit of slight contact there entering turn 1. Phillips pushes that 47 truck up just a bit. And now he's going to be able to reclaim the race lead. Now the eyes focus to this 5th position. It looks like Dennis got into that outside wall, maybe just a bit there off of 4. Lost ground to the 24, and I believe that is actually the 5 truck of Alex Foster. But also lost that position to Barry Nelson in the 96. So Warren is losing a few spots right there the last lap. We'll see what Warrens can do here as he's got Jesse Fox over that back bumper. Jesse Fox having a good night right now, running in that 8th position. Truth Hope, Cautel here with the spin down the front straightaway. No caution, nobody else getting collected in that, but definitely gonna have some dirt on that front grille, as well as lose all the time that she had gained here. Now gonna be set back to the back of the field. RBS Racing teammates here trying to get around the 91 of Sebastian Chanel. Sebastian looking to hold off those two, but doesn't look like he'll be able to do so. Bud Shear now gonna work himself around as well, following his teammate Sean Burke. So those two team trucks gonna put themselves up in the 11th and 12th here. So far up at the front, the pack mostly single filed out, a little bit settled into their groove for the time being. Doesn't really look like there's a whole lot to really be worried about. Guys, like I said, settling into their groove, just trying to figure out what their race speed is, not burning up the right side tires either. Rusty Jordan making some ground up in that middle lane. Now takes a dive to the inside. Oh, has to make an evasive maneuver there when Jason Henry got that bobble coming off of two. Nice heads up there by Rusty Jordan. Right in front of them though, just Jason Henry able to get it collected, and now moving himself around Joshua Panel there. Panel there, excuse me. Right in front of them, Sebastian Chanel losing a little bit more ground as well. We saw him just a few laps ago get passed by those RBS teammates of Sean Burke and Bud Shear. Now, Truth Hoke and Michael Ware have worked their way around him, as Michael Chanel looking to get around Sebastian Chanel. So, Sebastian Chanel losing some ground here these past couple of laps, trying to stay within tow of the guys in front of him. Meanwhile, though, right in front of them, Bud Shear moving himself up, gaining a little bit of ground in front these past couple laps, working to the inside of Kevin Baker in that red 87 machine. Looks like he'll be able to clear off of 4 and set his sights on the next truck in front of him, which is going to be Brendan McGee. Maybe a little 3 wide action there for a second as well. Now back down to 2 wide. The 87 was working that high slide there for a second. But leaning on that 15 truck of Brendan McGee, maybe moving him up a bit as well to get him out of the groove to get by. So now Bud Shear gonna find himself in that 9th position. Gonna go to work on the truck in front of him of Jesse Fox, who holds down that 8th position currently. but getting around Jesse Fox, possibly. He's got the run off of 2 into 3. We'll see if he can complete the pass. Will he slide up? Yes, he will. So Bud Share up another spot here. Jesse Fox now under pressure from these drivers behind him, and there's a big lot of trucks here. At least 6, 7 trucks under a blanket looking to make their moves up into the top 10. Right now, Brendan McGee holding on to that top, or that 10th position, which would then set Kevin Baker and Truth Hoke right behind him as they're 3 wide, coming off of 4 for a moment. Fox in the middle, Baker on the bottom, McGee on the top. McGee all the way up there trying to make that high lane work. Will he be able to hang on to it? Yes, he will. Oh, loose for Jesse Fox right there. He might have gotten some air on that rear spoiler. And Truth Hoke right there in the picture. After going for that spin at lap 8 and receiving a little bit of front end damage, moving himself up into that 13th position, looking to gain back some of those spots that he had lost because of that spin. We'll see what he can do here under this green flag run. Right now, though, Truth Hoke, I mean, really looking to not let that spin stop him at all. Kahn able to get around Trevor here for a 3rd. So Robert Kahn moving himself into that 3rd position. Remember, he is a champion in this league, won a few seasons ago. Didn't have the season that he wanted to last year. Looking to maybe rebound this year and be a championship contender once again. We'll see how his race goes throughout this night. Right now, I mean, he's been sending down some pretty decent lap times, a little bit quicker than the guys in front of him. Let's check out those lap times here. So Robert Kahn, that last lap, ran at 24.4. The 2 guys in front of them a little bit slower. We'll see what it updates to this time. Kahn matching race lap with the race leader of Chris Phillips, and then faster than Mathis there in 2nd. So Robert Kahn definitely closing in a bit on 2nd place. We'll see if he can close in on Chris Phillips as well. We're on board with Robert Kahn here for a 2nd. You can hear him just gently work that throttle, and also running a little bit lower than the Bernat Che in front of him. Yeah, just look at the rotation that Robert Kahn is able to get, getting a good run here down the back straightaway. Gonna work to the outside. And actually, I think that 47 truck might be coming down to pit road. But a great run there off of 2 for Robert Kahn. Not quicker than our race leader that last lap of Chris Phillips. Those 2 really went even. I think Chris Phillips might have been a tad bit quicker, but not by much. But Chris Phillips has that cleaner air, but also has that gap that he can work with as well. So Robert Kahn, if I'm Robert Kahn, I'm probably just going to continue to do what I've been doing, knowing the lap times that I've been running have been pretty similar to our race leader. We do have a pit stop coming up here in just a little bit, which will definitely shake things up once again. This track has been known to catch some speeders coming on and off of pit road. You got to be mindful of that. such a fast track that these drivers are dealing with out here tonight, but pit road speed gonna be one that could bite some of these drivers, and you don't want that to happen in a race like this. Pit road speed is 40 miles an hour, and one mistake on or off a pit road would really end your night at a track like Iowa here. Now Chris Phillips will more than likely have to deal with some lap traffic here if this thing goes green. Now it's going to depend on a lot of things, and obviously one of them is going to be when he decides to pit and when other drivers decide to pit. We have seen lap traffic kind of come into play in some of these races, not only in this season but also last season as well. And really, it's your job as a leader is to work your way through the lap traffic as best you can. But if you're in second place, you have a little bit of an easier time with this lap traffic, knowing that the lap traffic's gonna fight the leader a little bit more to stay on the lead lap. So if you're second or third, you're kind of hoping that Chris Phillips might catch some lap traffic that can slow him down a bit. We see Robert Kahn just continuing to slowly tick down that race lead, as now Chris Phillips going to work himself on the pit road. We'll see if Robert Kahn decides to stay out. Yes, he will. So Robert Kahn will take the race lead as Phillips decides to come down pit road here. So Robert Kahn's going to take over the race lead, now going to come down pit road himself. Don't need to speed. He comes in pretty hot right there, but able to get it slowed down. We'll see where some of these other guys decide, what some of these other guys decide to do. But Shear going to stay out a little bit longer, so he's going to take the race lead and lead his first laps on the night. Truth Hoke going to stay out there as well, it looks like. So some of these guys deciding to run a little bit extra longer, maybe hoping for a caution, but also wanting to have a little bit fresher tires than the guys that they're racing around when they come off a pit road, excuse me. The 69 truck right there coming off a pit road. Oh, and just with that, he goes for a spin. Jesse Fox around, and that's going to bring out a caution. I didn't quite see who the other one was. I think that was Rusty Jordan. Yes, it is. So Rusty Jordan and Jesse Fox both going out for a spin here, and well, those guys that decided to stay out here gonna catch a lucky break and catch some of these guys a lap down. Right now we're showing 7 trucks on the lead lap. Chris Phillips is going to be the first truck 1 lap down. So lucky break here for these top 7 drivers who decided to stay out for the time being. They're going to be able to come down pit road and get their service, but also maintain the track position that they had here at this caution. So Butch Shear, Truth Hoke, going to come to the attention of their pit crew, get those tires changed, get the fuel in, and be off and away. Let's check out what happened here with Jesse Fox and Rusty Jordan. And I don't know if these, I believe these are separate incidents. Yeah, Jesse Fox looks like he just, you know, with those fresher, colder tires, it just looks like he didn't have the grip that he was anticipating and just got on the throttle maybe a little bit too hot and went around there. Thankfully, didn't catch Bud Shear, who was right there on his outside. So that could have been a lot worse for Bud Shear, and I'm sure he's glad that that didn't collect him. Now, I'm not quite sure if the same thing happened to Rusty Jordan or not. So Rusty Jordan, a little bit of a head here. Oh, looks like, yeah. Looks like he might have had the same thing as Jesse Fox did behind. Those colder tires definitely not having the grip that these two drivers were anticipating when coming off of pit road, and thankfully didn't catch any drivers in the mix for receiving any sort of damage, but it did shake things up here. Again, like I said, majority of these guys had just come down pit road and pitted, so they got trapped either 1 lap or 2 laps down, and now this kind of shakes up the front of the field here. It's going to allow Bud Shear to take the race lead. Truth Hope going to be in some prime position here as well as he moves himself up to second. Well, drivers will see the 1 to go here. Or, excuse me, they are on the 1 to go here. Getting lined back up. Drivers taking that wave around. And you can see in this picture what it does to the field behind. We're going to have a long train of single file trucks back here, which could cause a chuck up. So we'll have to keep our eyes on that here and see how these drivers back here manage this restart and see if maybe it turns into something that these drivers probably don't want. But up at the front, Bud Shear, Truth Hope getting ready to lead the field to green once again, working through the restart zone. Green flag back in the air. We're off and racing again, and a good restart there by Bud Shear and Jason heading on the inside lane. Truth Hope not as much grip there on that outside, losing a little bit of ground. Oh, and maybe some contact there made as well between the 14-ish river, and I couldn't quite tell who it was. I think it was Sebastian Chanel back here. 3 wide as they head into 1 contact continuing to happen. That's Chris Phillips getting banged around there. Little bit of a door slam from the driver beneath him. And boy, did this hurt Phillips. He's all the way back in 15th, migrated back behind a lot of these drivers. He was just leading this race too, which, again, with that caution, really shook things up. Now he has to fight his way back through the field. And with under halfway left to go in this race, doesn't have a whole lot of time to work with. He might need some extra cautions to help him out. 3 wide once again here, going into 1. That's the 21 of Robert Kahn, Sean Burke, and Mathis Bernatchez there. Phillips trying to work his way through the field. Up to 12th position right now, trying to get another one away from Mike right out in the 76 in front of him in that bright orange and white flame machine there. Ledford now working around Truth Hope for the second position. Ledford is on a hot streak these past few weeks. Him and Bud Shear have been battling it out for the top spot, and well, Bud Shear looking to maybe make a rebound as Ledford gets into the outside wall there off of Ford, losing that ground that he had just gained on Truth Hope. Now he's going to have to set his eyes back on that 55 as he continues to try and close that gap down once again. Jason Henry moves himself into fourth right behind. Chantel Pottle having a good run right now in fifth position. Got that lucky caution that helped her race out a bit there after going for a spin through the infield grass and maybe having a little bit of a moment right there off of two as well, but able to hang on to it. So she's going to continue to come around and hang on to that fifth position, trying to get her way back around Jason Henry. We'll see if Jason Henry can put a little bit of different distance between himself and the 05. Robert Kahn in the 21. Looking to close down on that 05 though, but he is a little bit further back. Again, some of this field getting shaken up from that caution, so you have drivers that are one lap down in front of some of these guys who are on the lead lap after they took the wave around, so kind of jumbling things up here. And they're still trying to figure it out back here in the second half of this field. Well, Chris Phillips fans don't look away. Here comes the 6 machine working himself through 3 and 4, moved himself up another couple of positions. He's now up to that eighth place. Next driver he's going to set his eyes on is the 96 right in front of him in that yellow machine of Barry Nelson. Barry Nelson gonna hold that 7th position for the time being, but Chris Phillips is on a mission here. He has a little bit older tires, which is gonna start making this more difficult for the guys who were able to stay on the track at that caution. As we see another caution here, I think it involves Timothy Causey, I believe. Looks like that is going to bring out another caution here on the night. So the 9 truck of Timothy Causey going to bring out the caution here at lap 67. Caution at lap 67 for day 6-7. Definitely a little bit of a coincidence there, I'd say. So 3 wide top, oh boy, yeah, the 97 of, I believe that's Michael Chanel. Looks like he got in there a bit deep and just lost that handling on that race truck, and we'll get a better view right here. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's any contact between the 97 and the 90, so Michael Chanel might have been trying to avoid contact from hitting that 90 of Dennis Warren's to his inside, but lost that rear end for sure and washed right up into that 9 truck on the outside and sent that 9 truck into the outside wall. Yeah, Warren's, I don't think Warren's or Michael Chanel actually made any contact. And I think Michael Chanel just lost the rear end there and unfortunately got into Timothy Kazi. Timothy Kazi now having some significant right side damage. So Timothy Kazi was able to bring it down pit road. He's going to continue to have service on this 9 truck done, as he wants to get as much as that right side damage fixed as he possibly can. And with that caution as well, we're going to have 3 trucks that stay out here. That's going to be led by Barry Nelson, Chris Phillips, another one of those drivers staying out, and then Sebastian Chanel being that 3rd and final driver that stayed out here under this caution. So it's a little interesting to see those drivers stay out. Everybody else behind him came down pit road for some service in one way or another. We should get the 1 to green this time by for the field. Again, Barry Nelson will lead the field to green here in just a moment. Chris Phillips going to be lined up to his outside. Phillips looking to rebound after getting trapped with that green flag cycle and then having that caution about halfway at the halfway mark in this race. So trying to make some late rebound moves up towards the front. A strategy call going to allow him to maybe make up some ground here. We'll see how this number 6 and 96 on this front row have this restart go for them. You will have to watch some tires spin, so that will have to be something that these drivers play a factor into and have to keep in mind. I'm sure they're listening to their teams and spotters up on the box. We'll see how it goes here. Pace car is going to be off of 4, rolling through to the restart zone, waiting for the green flag. Green flag back in racing here from Iowa Speedway with a dead man's hit list 100. Chris Phillips with a powerful restart on the outside. He's going to be able to get around Barry Nelson. Barry Nelson now going to have a mirror full of Bud Shear to his outside. Closes the door off of 4, so he'll be able to maintain that 2nd position as Bud Shear looks to work himself around for that 2nd position, but not going to have any run that time by in 1 and 2 as the field behind him, 3, maybe even 4 wide. That's Benatchez around. Still green, still maybe a little bit of contact right there at the end as well. Still green low, no caution for that. Dennis Warren's taking a look to the inside there in that 90 Ram. Wasn't able to get it done there, but gonna try and build up another run. Pottle looking to hang on to a top 10 position. Lost a few spots from being up in 5th, now back to 7th, but doing a good job at maintaining her ground right now. Remember going for that spin as well earlier through the infield grass, but these guys have kind of reset the tables and bunched each other back up once again here as we're under 25 laps to go here. The 87 of Kevin Baker coming off of pit road there. You saw him in at the bottom of your screen coming off of pit road after having that contact with the 47 truck. He's going to be a couple laps down, but still in the race. Phillips now putting some distance between him and Bud Shear for the top spot. Bud Shear under pressure. Try to hang on to this second place as they fight hard behind Jason Henry, working himself up around the outside of Barry Nelson for 3rd. Not able to get it quite yet. We'll see what Henry can do here. Alpha 2, he'll have the high side advantage run, but will he be able to clear? Just about, but not quite fully, as now we get another caution here. And I believed it involved the 47 truck again. Truck definitely struggling to get around to pit road, but he's going to work himself on the pit road. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what happened. It looks like definitely some sort of mechanical issue for the 47 here coming off of 2, but I'm not quite sure what exactly led up to this moment. I mean, he's running under power here pretty fine, heading into 1 and 2. I think coming off of 2 is really where it starts to just... It sounds like... Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what exactly happened with this 47 truck. It sounds like it might be stuck in gear. See if we can ride on board here with him. Oh yeah. Yeah, this truck definitely got stuck in gear. You can hear him trying to roll it out. That's so interesting. I mean, such a odd place for it to get stuck in gear, especially coming off the exit of 2, but definitely, I mean, you can hear it. It definitely gets stuck in gear, and just he's not able to put it back into any gear that would allow him either first or second, whatever it may be. It sounds like it might have just put itself in neutral. So pretty interesting thing to have happen here, but that's going to bring out our another caution here on the night at lap 81. Well, the field going to get lined up once again here. Bud Shear now going to be in control of this race. Christian Triver to his outside. Chris Phillips came down pit road right there, so those sets of tires I believe that he'll have looking to pay off for him here. He'll restart in the 7th position, 4th at lane back on the inside. So watch out for Chris Phillips and see what he can do on this restart, but he's going to have to try and work himself around a few drivers here. So it looks like we're actually going to get an extended caution here. So these drivers going to get one more lap around this track. All right, getting the 1 to go signal this time by. Does not look like we will extend the caution here, so we should be good to take the green flag here in just a moment. Once again, Bud Shear, Christian Shriver on your front row. Michael Chanel, Rusty Jordan going to make up the 2nd row. Then you have Alex Foster, Timothy Kazi in that 3rd row. Chris Phillips, Robert Kahn in that 4th row. Again, watch out for that number 6 truck. We'll see what he can do now that he's come down pit road. Watch out for that green machine. Pace car off before field, rolling into the restart zone. Green flag in the air. Great restart there by Bud Shear. Christian Shriver not getting the start that he needed. That's going to allow Bud Shear to clear into 1 and 2. Side by side behind him. $15 laps to go, coming to 14 laps this time by. Time running out for the field. They're going to need to make some ground up in a little bit of contact between Phillips to Chanel. That's going to move Chanel up on the group. 4 wide, 3 wide, 5 wide in a big wreck down the backstretch here. Collecting numerous drivers, more contact made. A big pile up here coming off of turn 2. Gonna take out many contending trucks. The 11 truck, the 05, the 90, the 96, the 01, multiple trucks involved here. And what a shame here for the 05 who was having such a good night. Patel was looking to be so strong, had a good run going. Was up in the top 5 for some of the night, then moved back into the top 10. And now looks like that race truck having some heavy left front damage. So it starts up here between the 6 and the 97. They make contact. The 97 makes a move up the track. Then the 6 gets bumped from the 55. And then just a whole lot of piling up through the field here, trying to avoid the wreck, collecting at least 5 to 6 other trucks up through turns 3 and 4. Again, take a look at it. Right here is when the contact was made between the 6 and the 97. 97 getting moved up. That's Michael Chanel getting moved up into the 11 of Rusty Jordan. Then Chris Phillips looks like he got a little bit loose from that. Got a bump from the 55 of Truth Hoke, then it just kind of all went downhill from there. Trucks piling in, just trying to get around through the wreck, and Rusty Jordan getting hit a few times. Barry Nelson also getting collected. The 0-1 of Jeffrey Ledford getting collected in that as well. Looks like Ledford having some pretty significant damage. Yeah, I just don't know if I can pinpoint that on one single driver there. A lot going on with the laps winding down. Everybody trying to gain as much position as they possibly can, and unfortunately collecting a numerous amount of drivers here late in this race. Well, we'll just line it up again here. Bud Shear gonna be in control once again. Trevor again to his outside. We're gonna have 9 laps to go here when we get the green flag. Starter's got it in hand. Pace car is off, rolling through 3 and 4. Green flag once again. 9 laps to go here from Iowa Speedway for the Dead Man's Hit List 100. Oh, Truth Hoke up around into that inside wall and a hard hit. Caution again here. Truth Hoke with a massive hit into that inside wall. Definitely going to be the end of this night for this 55 at Truth Hoke. I don't think that is repairable with that engine damage. Let's see if we can get it up towards what the actual incident. Running in third. Was there contact between him and the 14? Yes, there was. So Shriver and Hope making contact off the exit of 2. And Truth Hoke gets sent into that inside wall. Massive hit right there for the 55. Almost came up on track in front of these guys, but was able to hang on to that race truck and lock it down pretty quickly. Take a look at it one more time here. Just a massive hit there going down the back straightaway. And again, unfortunately, probably going to end the night of the 55 car here. So the field, as these laps winding down, being a little bit more aggressive, and we've seen more mistakes being made here as these laps continue to wind down. A lot of good trucks being taken out in these past couple of incidents that have occurred here in these last 15 laps. Right now, Bud Shear likes what he's seeing just kind of maintaining his position at the top spot. Robert Kahn now moves into second here. Field lined up for this restart once again. Bud Shear, Robert Kahn making up the front row. Timothy Kazi, Alex Foster move into that second row. Then Sean Burke and Sebastian Chanel will be in that third row. Chris Phillips finds himself back once again into that fourth row after being involved in a wreck just a handful of laps ago. We'll see if he can work himself back up through the field once again here, but he's going to have at least 4 laps to go. We'll see if there's maybe more overtime to be handed out. Field rolling through to the restart zone once again. Green flag. A great start on the outside for Robert Kahn. 3 wide behind him for third and fourth. Side by side battle for the race lead. Bud Shear slides up right in front of Robert Kahn. Oh! Sean Burke off the front end, able to hang on to it and keep it going, but he's lost all of that track position, and he's going to be falling back. And what could have gone for Sean Burke is going to end up in some heartbreak, but he's going to have another shot as we've got a caution out on the racetrack. And I believe it involved the Ford truck here. We'll see if we can go back and take a look and see how it happened. But I believe the Ford truck was involved for sure. All right, let's take a look here. Excuse me, I have to go back a little bit further than that. I'm not quite sure when it exactly happened. So outside is the 90 of Dennis Warren's. Oh, it looks like the Ford truck might have came up a bit. I'm not sure if he might have gotten a little bit of an aero tight there or if he maybe got a bit loose, but either way, definitely came up on that 90 truck and went off the front end there. Yeah, it looks like he might have either misjudged it or just gotten a bit tight and came up into that 90 truck of Dennis Warren's. And unfortunately, bringing out another caution here. So these guys going to have another chance here on this restart to have a shot at the win. We saw Robert Kahn kind of sneak that lead away for a brief second, but then Bud Shear got it right back. So some of these drivers might be able to have a shot here on this restart and might have learned something from that last restart just a moment ago. You see Bud Shear putting a little bit of cool in those tires, just trying to cool them down a bit here. trying to help every little bit that he can for this restart. I believe this should be the one to go here, which is going to set these guys up once again for another restart. Once again, we will have post-race coverage here at the conclusion of the race here in just a few moments. We'll be able to talk to some of these drivers and get their take on tonight's race. And if you're just tuning in for the finish of the Dead Man's Hit List 100, well, you're in for a heck of a race here. It's been going on all night. Some pure side-by-side aggressive racing, short track racing we call it though. Working their way off of 4 into the restart zone once again. Green flag once again, and a great restart again from Robert Kahn on the outside. He's got help from Chris Phillips behind as they work themselves through 1 and 2, side by side for the race lead coming off the exit of 2. Down the back straightaway, Bud Shear sends it in deep, trying to clear up once again. This time he won't be clear. A little bit of contact made, forcing Bud Shear. Oh, and around Bud Shear goes. No caution. They're going to keep it green. That's going to give the white flag to Robert Kahn one more time around for Robert Kahn. Charging through 3 and 4. Phillips has one chance, sends it in deep. Not close enough. And off the final exit of the corner, Robert Kahn wins at Iowa Speedway for the Dead Man's Hit List 100. Robert Kahn celebrating there on the front straightaway. He's going to do his victory lap here. And then we should be able to take a moment and speak with him once he works his way back around to the start-finish line. Again, stay tuned here. We'll be able to hear from some of these drivers with the post-race coverage. A crazy, chaotic finish to end this race after contact between Kahn and Bud Shear sent Bud Shear around and gave Robert Kahn the advantage to come around here and take home the victory. Give these drivers just a second to get all situated, and then we'll be able to take a moment and speak with them here. Well, while we wait for Robert Kahn to get into the booth, let's go ahead and bring Chris Phillips here, finishing second in tonight's race. You almost had it there. You saw the two guys in front of you make contact, and then that almost gave you a shot to kind of capitalize on that, but just kind of ran out of time there at the very end. You did get caught up in that caution that happened during those green flag cycles that kind of set you back a little bit. And then that also got caught up in a wreck there as well. So had to move yourself up and back to the front numerous times. I mean, tonight just seemed like it was a handful for you out there.
Yeah, this is a pretty good track for me. Some reason it's just one of mine. I get in it and I go, man. It suits my driving style, and yeah, I had a little bit of bad luck in that green flag pit stop, and it is what it is. I got the lucky dog there, and it lined up behind some lap traffic and drove through the field. And yeah, I don't know exactly what happened. I was loose. I got some contact, and yeah, it was a good hard racing incident there. And at the end, I don't know who it was. I think it was Bud got sideways there, and I hit him. I had him beat. I mean, I had fresher tires. There wasn't no doubt. I was gonna shoot it in, and there were one, and I could have made it stick. I had him beat, but he came across my hood. I had to check up a little bit, and Con got the win. So he was right place, right time, and it was a good race. I wish if it would have stayed green flag, I ain't no doubt in my mind I'd have had it.
Yeah, we definitely saw you have some great long run green flag speed, and after coming out of that heartbreak last week from Las Vegas, I know second place on paper is good, but it's not as good as the first place that you're still trying to hunt down for. But definitely having some momentum carry over from last week. And as you head into next week at the Milwaukee Mile, another sort of short track, does that kind of fit your style as to like something being similar from what we saw tonight?
Yeah, I'm not as good as that one but I mean, I run pretty decent. Yeah, 2 second places in a row. One's good on paper, especially when you don't do good the first race like you want to do. But when you get 2 in a row, you just feel like the first loser twice then. So, yeah, it was heartbreak at the end, both the races. So we'll carry on. You said the Milwaukee Mile, yeah. We'll show up there and see what we get. I mean, keep on turning laps. We'll get a W here after a while, hopefully.
Alrighty, Chris. Well, before I let you go, is there any last comments that you'd like to say?
Yeah, shout out to my teammates there, all my Foothill boys, and everybody that sponsors the league here, and you for doing the broadcasting. We appreciate it, and we'll see you next week.
Alrighty, Chris. Thanks for taking a moment to speak with us, and hopefully we can speak to you again next week.
Yes, sir.
That was our second place driver, Chris Phillips. Let's go ahead and move on to our race winner, Robert Kahn, celebrating in victory lane here, getting your first race win on this season early, checking that box off. So now that you've got the victory here, kind of had, I wouldn't say too much of a slump last season, but definitely probably not as, anticipated as you probably were hoping for after coming off the championship from that previous season. But now finding yourself in victory lane to begin this season off with a bang. Tell me about those last couple of laps and what was going through your mind there when you and Bud made that contact.
Well, on the previous restart, he caught up on me, and I let out of the gas. I never want to take someone out for a win. I always like to do it clean. But when it happened the second time, I wasn't gonna. My nose was still there. I didn't do anything purposely. I just kept my momentum, and when he slid up, I guess he just lost it. But I would have been, honestly, the way this season and last season went, I would have just been cool getting, a top 5 finish, just kind of like getting my points up so I can get into playoffs. But I mean, I guess this is a fast way to do it. So I'm definitely happy that last season, this season, they haven't been one seasons that I've typically have. So it's good to get a win again.
Yeah, and I think this is our first uh, interview with you in Victory Lane since we've joined uh, the league, and it's been. I will say it's been heartbreaking to see you have the heartbreak from last season. Getting caught up in incidents that you maybe should have had a better finish at, but this season, I mean, so far it looks to be turning around in a positive way, and um, we do have a few difficult tracks in front of us. We have the Milwaukee Mile, and then we have Michigan, Daytona, then we have IRP. So some of these races going to be a handful for some of these drivers. And as a driver like you and as a previous champion, what does your mindset go look forward to in these next upcoming weeks now that you have that race win?
Well, I had to change my driving style up. So I don't know if it was like there's a new tire model that they put in within the last season or two, but I was always very good at long run races. I'd let off on early, save tires, and then come back towards the end. And I don't know if this new tire model has changed, but there's no reward for that. Like to save as much as I was. Like it seems like with it, ARCA and trucks, you just have to push it and then just put up with the end of the run, the truck running like trash. But I thought tonight was going to be another one because Moses, great product, always use them, but I had my brake spring broke before the race, so I had like my brakes. As soon as you tap them, they go right to the floor. I thought tonight was going to be another one, so I can't really complain about tonight. But coming up on the these tracks coming up, I look forward to it because I really like the technical tracks. I like the ones that they're not just hold it to the floor and go like at Vegas. So I'm hoping we can have a good streak coming up here.
Well, we hope for that to go as best as it can for you on this 21 team. Before I let you go, though, is there any last comments that you'd like to say?
No, that's it, man. I appreciate what you do. You do a hell of a job on broadcasting, and as always, eSports, or Lightning eSports. I think this is year 10 for me here, so great place to race, and everyone who helps us out with sponsorship, man, I appreciate them, but I appreciate you. You do such a great job with the broadcast.
All righty, Robert Kahn, thank you for taking a minute to speak with us. We're going to let you celebrate the win here in Victory Lane for the Dead Man's Hit List 100, and hopefully we can speak to you again next week.
Sounds good, bud.
That was our race winner, Robert Kahn, celebrating the victory here tonight at Iowa Speedway. You kind of hear from him just excited that he was able to get around that hump that he had from last season and kind of beginning off the first, I'd say, race, maybe second race that didn't go his way either. But now having a turning point in this season, we'll see if maybe some of that championship contending mindset, or at least previous championship mindset, can help him out here in these next couple of races and maybe have a little bit better luck for that 21 team and maybe find themselves in Victory Lane again. Let's take a look here at these race results here and go over the full standings. For the unofficial standings, that will be Robert Kahn taking away the victory, Chris Phillips, Timothy Kazi rounding out the top three. Then we go on to Sebastian Chanel, Alex Foster, Jason Henry, Brennan McGee, Christian Shriver, Mike Rydell, and Michael Ware rounding out the top 10. Going on down through the field we go, and we see Chantel Pottel there in 11th, able to kind of rebound and finish where she probably... Oh, sorry, I skipped a page there. Probably wanting to have a little bit better of a finish, considering she was running around that 5th to 7th position earlier on in that race. But again, 11th position, not bad, and definitely a much needed night for her. Jesse Foss, having those issues as well, finishing out in 12th right behind. Then we go on to Sean Burke, who I'd say also another driver who might have rebounded pretty decently, Joshua Panal there, Rusty Jordan, Bud Shear, after having that contact on that coming to the white / on that last lap, went for a spin and ends up finishing 16th. Barry Nelson, Truth Ho, Kevin Baker, Dennis Warren's right behind in that 20th position. Then rounding out the field, we have Michael Chanel, Mattis Bernacci, and then Jeffrey Ledford, who's going to round out the field 16 laps down in that 23rd position. So a great night here for some of these drivers. Other drivers, maybe not the night that they needed or wanted, but one driver who did have things go his way was Robert Kahn, able to put himself in victory lane here for the Dead Man's Hit List 100 from Iowa Speedway for the Lightning eSports Truck Series. And as we look forward to next week at the Milwaukee Mile, we just have to wonder what drivers are going to be able to put themselves into victory lane for that race, and maybe also finding another new race winner on the season. We'll have to wait and see. Again, that'll be next week. Same time, same place here on Turn Sector Media. We look forward to being there, and I think we'll have Bryce back for that race as well. So I don't really think there is anything much more to go over. Just, what a fantastic race from start to finish. A lot of short track beating and banging, things that we kind of expected at a track like this. And congrats to Robert Kahn once again for getting the victory and parking it in victory lane for his first win on the season and in a while. We'll see if he can go defend that at the Milwaukee Mile next week. Until then, you guys, thanks again for joining us for the Dead Man's Hit List 100 from Iowa Speedway. We will see you guys next week. I've been Oscar Jensen bringing you guys this commentary, and have a good one.
To get the most eyes on your vehicle, you need the best that the rest will see. At Lightning Wraps, you get the best at an affordable price compared to the rest. Be sure to check us out on Facebook for more information.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Got a great car, great team. We'll execute. Our time. We know what we got to do. Stay in the fight between the walls.
Time to turn the intensity up.
Fight till the end, no matter what happens. Good day to be in victory lane.
Green flag is in the air. Driving with conviction. Side by side, hammer down. The afterchecks are lit. Count out anybody. Who wants it the most?
We are eyes on the leader now.
He is driving his guts out. Wheel to wheels, they come to the line. What a victory this will be.
Nobody wants it more than you.
Next flag is going to end it. Does he have enough? A dominant performance.
Gotta stay down, baby. Let's go.
Can you believe what you are seeing? Everybody pushing as hard as they can.
What you know about rolling down in the deep? Down in the deep.